Another theorist that considered prejudice and discrimination was Robert Merton. He developed what's known as a topology of prejudice and discrimination. To create a topology is to create categories that help define general types of things. Merton created 4 different categories. The unprejudiced non-discriminator, who is someone who does not discriminate and is not prejudiced against others. The unprejudiced discriminator, a person who does not hold prejudices against others, but who does discriminate, usually to comply with social norms. The prejudiced non-discriminator, who's someone who is prejudiced but will not discriminate or share these prejudiced beliefs with others because he or she knows that is socially unacceptable to do so. And the prejudiced discriminator, an individual who believes that others should not be allowed equality and who acts in such a manner to prevent the equal treatment of others. The creation of these topologies helps us to understand that there is no actual causal relationship between prejudice and discrimination. According to Merton's topologies, you can see from the illustration here that those that could be prejudicial might not actually discriminate, or those that are not prejudiced could discriminate. You may or may not agree with this kind of framework. What do you think about it? As we think deeper and deeper about the issue of prejudice and discrimination, this begs the question, how do we reduce it? Research has examined this, and there are some specific tried and true strategies that look like promising approaches to reduce it. The tendency of people when they meet those that are different from them is to go through 4 predictable stages. First, to meet and greet, or just the idea of sheer contact. The next stage is competition, where they try to outdo each other. And then the 3rd stage is accommodation, which is when people start helping each other. And then the final stage, assimilation, where people start to act more like each other. We know that the more that people are exposed to people that are different from themselves, the more accepting that individuals tend to become. At the same time, merely casual contact seems to actually increase prejudice. What matters is that people start to develop relationships, that members of different groups actually work together for a common cause, or that they have something that binds them together. That's one of the reasons why college campuses develop diversity programs, in order to facilitate developing relationships between different groups. And it's also the reason that colleges and universities encourage, and sometimes mandate, that students take courses in ethnic and cultural studies. The idea is to increase connections between different groups, and to teach students to appreciate and respect members of other groups. It's important also to assure that housing is not segregated. When housing is segregated, it tends to reduce diversity within the neighborhood or the community. And when that happens, it increases levels of prejudice due to the lack of integration and lack of familiarity with other groups. Something else that reduces prejudice and discrimination is the modeling of appropriate behavior by leaders and communities. So organizations will often have specific training for their leaders in order to assure that they are modeling the appropriate behaviors. And of course, as far as the family unit's concerned, it's important for parents to model the right behaviors in order to reduce prejudicial attitudes and discriminatory behaviors by their children.